Hey there, MRA Fam, my real Africaners. This is Maria Juve, your real Africaners. Just coming to you once again to do what I do best, and that is to teach and talk about African history, culture, and current affairs, and topics that will bring the African and African diaspora community together around their common history and their shared real life experiences. Also, I do what I do to disrupt and dismantle the negative way that Africa is presented in education and media, but more specifically in education and academic spaces. That's where I excel at. So I just wanted to hop on here today and to say Happy Black History Month. This is the fifth day, and I hope that you are enjoying the month so far. I hope you've been out in your community and participating in Black History events, um, talking about Black History facts and uh, uh, passing and sharing on information that you know to those who don't know, especially the young people. Um, at the beginning of the month, I put forth a 28-day challenge called the Can't Ban Black Challenge. And that challenge um, was to uh, get my followers to flood their social media sites and their social media platforms with information about Black history, pictures, facts, figures, dates about African and African diaspora history. And I put that challenge out there in response to the efforts to ban Black studies here in the U.S. Just recently, a couple weeks ago, the governor of Florida, DeSantis, um, put legislation forth to ban, or well, I would say he rejected a Black history or studies program or some Black curriculum. And he banned it on the basis of what he said was content that was included in the curriculum that he felt had no value to American history as well as to Black history. And now that was his perspective. I won't go into detail about some of the things that he talked about, but the thing in a nutshell is that they have the power to determine when and if Black history is taught and where it is taught. And they want to, and when I say they, I mean legislators, I mean academic institutions, I mean those that control the systems that educate the masses of the people. They want the ability to censor and control what is taught, and specifically when it comes to African and African diaspora studies. And it's not so much the ban that really has me up in arms, it's the influence and control that they continue to wield over what we as Black people um, learn about ourselves, especially in these institutions. So that's why I feel that it's so important that we have alternative ways of teaching our history and sharing our history. I think it's so important that we have independent institutions and we have independent platforms that we can utilize to teach the things that we feel are important to our young people and to our communities. And unfortunately, we don't wield that type of power or influence here in this country and more so all over the world in order to do that. I would say, I won't say we don't wield it, but it has those systems that we did have in place when we were independent, they have been broken down, right? They have been taken away from us, or maybe even we gave them up to become a part of the institutions of a larger society. Which I would say that most of those our foremothers and fathers felt that that would be a good thing, because we think that way. We think in terms of people just being people, and that we're stronger together than we are apart. But we also have to keep in mind that everybody does not think that way, right? And so we have to be diligent in doing for ourselves and maintaining institutions that are independent of these larger societies that do not have our best interests at heart. So, anyway, I hope that you are, like I say, participating in that Can't Ban Black challenge that I put out there. And when you post on your social media platforms, I would like for you to use the hashtag can't ban black. Also, breaking the ban. Also, African history is Black history. And of course, hashtag the real Africanus. Um, I just wanted to also tell you a little story about one time when I was putting on a Black History program for a church that I used to work in. And so the pastor asked me to do something for Black history, right? Because this was a predominantly a white church institution. However, there were a number of Black members. So we wanted to do something to include we wanted to do something for Black History Month to celebrate the Black members of the church, because over time the church had a significant amount of Black members. It had evolved into that, right? And so we wanted to honor the contributions of those members. Also, we wanted to honor just Black History Month in general. So I don't believe, well, I know she didn't know that I knew what I knew about Black history, and to the extent that I knew about history. So I put the program together. And, once my mind starts working and these creative juices start working, then, I could do that forever, right? And so I was putting this display of Black history together down in the church basement, I remember. And so every day, new ideas were coming to me. And so I had the Pan-African colors all over the basement. I had information about where we came from. I remember having a map, two maps. In the background was black and the maps were white, so it really looked bold on that black background, and it was arrows pointing from Africa into America. I remember, I think I had information about the history of women, Black women covering their head, whether it was head wraps, whether it was hats. I had information on education and schools, and just a lot, that I had. And I remember her coming downstairs to the basement. The first day she came down, she saw the basics, and she saw a little bit about, I think it was like Dr. King or something like that, and also the sign, and she was okay with that. But then as the days went on, like you say, the exhibit, it grew, right? And so I remember her coming downstairs, and she was like, whoa, like, what is this? Like, this is a little much, right? It's too much, right? And so I didn't think so. I just kind of laughed it off, right? And she was just she was still mumbling something like under her breath. I didn't pay her no too much attention, right? I just kept doing what I was doing, and I was complete almost anyway. I was almost complete. So I just left it at that. But that showed me, and some conversations that we had after that showed me that um, some people are comfortable with our history as long as they feel that it's safe, that it is limited, that it has boundaries, right? They want us to, I mean, it's okay for us to talk about, um, like I say, I have a dream, or Rosa Parks, or uh, uh, things like that. I would just keep it and say like things like that. That's safe, and um, I'm not downplaying Rosa Parks or Dr. King at all. Anybody knows me, I have grown to have a great respect for Dr. King. When I was younger, I was more of a Malcolm X type of girl. I had that kind of philosophy. And although I respected Dr. King because of what he was doing for the black population, um, I didn't agree with the nonviolent stand, because I felt that we as African people or black people had a right to protect ourselves and protect our families, and that nobody had a right to treat us in that way. But as I got older and start studying more, I understand more why he took that stand. I understand that he was thinking about it on a deeper level, and there was no way that at that time that we could go up against the United States government and the military and all of these other systems that they have in place to back them up and to in keep us in a certain place, right? Especially, like I say, during that time. So anyway, like I said, I just wanted to emphasize that it's not so much just about the band; it's about the control, it's about the influence that um, Western narratives and Western perspectives and Western resources have on, and Western institutions have on and over the African and African diaspora story, the control that they have on how it's presented and how it is perceived by the public. So, again, we must do our due diligence, and we must continue to push back and continue to organize and continue to create platforms that are independent of larger institutions, and that we can control the narrative, and that we can define how Africa is presented to the world, right? So I want to sit up, and I wanted you to see my shirt as well. You see, I don't know if you can see, it says bold, black, and bougie, right? And I purchased this from Target for Black History Month. So anybody in the United States, you're familiar with Target, they have a great Black History selection out there. So go and support some of the Black creators there. A lot of times we don't have a lot of physical locations where we can go and purchase products made by Black people, but at least we can support the creatives and the artists behind these products. So I said that because that's how I want you to approach your history. I want you to, our history, Black history. I want us to be bold. I want us to be Black. And I want us to be a little bougie about it. People sometimes when they hear the term bougie, they take it as a negative thing because it means uppity, or it means that you feel like you're better than someone else. That may be the definition of it, but in this context, I'm saying, be proud of it. It's no better than anybody else's history, but it is your history. So, you are supposed to be proud of it. You're supposed to be proud to be who God created you to be. Because if as far as we know, if there, is uh, this unlimited force that's out there, this most powerful force that creates all things. If God created you this way, God meant for you to be this way, in the skin that you're in, doing what doing the greatest of things that possible, the greatest things that you can do, and do it the best that you can do, right? So I will again see you tomorrow. I'm going to be talking a little bit more about Black resistance, which is the theme for the Black History Month celebration here where I live. And I wanted to elaborate on that and talking about Black resistance in education and the form that should take. So thank you for listening, and I hope you got something out of what I said. And I hope that you realize that it is our responsibility to tell our stories. And I want to just give a shout out to the great YouTubers, the amazing YouTubers that are out here doing a fantastic job with changing the narrative about Africa. Big shout outs to Jay Cameron and Maximum Impact. Big shout out to Watamaya, Miss Trudy, Ashley in Africa, Sankofa, Pan African Series, Pan African TV. I mean, the list goes on and on. And everybody, whoever you are, even if you are not a YouTuber, you can do something to keep our story relevant. So continue to enjoy your weekend. I'll see you back here tomorrow. You can find me also at my blog at therealafricanist.com. You can also find me on Facebook at Maria Jouf, MariaJouf. And you can also find me on Twitter at real_Africanist. Please go over and support those platforms. Join me. Follow me on Twitter. Also, sign up for my email list on my blog, and also like, share, comment, and subscribe here on my YouTube channel that I may continue to bring you my perspective and share with you, and also to get your perspective on how we can continue to challenge and change the way Africa is presented in education and media, but specifically in education. And also hit the notification bell so that you can be notified when I'm putting out a new video, right? So again, I'm new here on YouTube and trying to grow the channel. So if we work together, we can make that possible. Talk to you later, and peace.